Welcome to Thrive Family Support's information session. Thrive Family Support is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that provides online courses and webinars, as well as in-person workshops in the Southwest Florida area to families of children who are on the autism spectrum or who have ADHD or developmental and behavioral concerns. Our courses focus on skill development, behavior support, and navigating the special education system. Our information session today is going to provide you a little bit more information about our organization, our leadership, and the programs that we offer to families.
So a little bit about our team. I'm Julia Strauss. I'm our founder and executive director. I have almost a decade of experience working with neurodivergent children and their families. I have a master's of education in special education. I'm a former special education teacher, and I'm a current board certified behavior analyst. And I'm focusing on pushing our field forward towards a more neurodiversity affirming approach that focuses on teaching self-advocacy and communication in compassionate ways that are assent-based. I'm a researcher and a published author and presenter on topics related to disability, behavior analysis, and special education. And I am neurodivergent myself. I have ADHD. We also have a wonderful group in our board of directors. This includes our secretary, Kylie Banks, our president, Dr. Jose Martinez, and our treasurer, Ashish Vig. And all of these people assist us with course development, fundraising, and financing, as well as marketing. If you've been to any of our events, you've seen Kylie Banks out there. She's at a lot of our events, really helping the community learn more about us. So now we're going to talk about our mission, purpose, and values. Thrive Family Support is committed to closing the wide gap in access from a family's first concerns about their child and when they're first able to access quality support. So we really work on breaking down the financial, cultural, and socioeconomic barriers that are preventing families from accessing care from qualified professionals. We want to make sure that every family can gain the knowledge and skills to help their child thrive. Our vision at Thrive Family Support is for every family, regardless of race, culture, linguistics, or financial need, to thrive through access to the knowledge, tools, and resources needed to support their child's development, behavior, and well-being. Our purpose is to provide families with immediate access to high quality support from experts in the field without the need to wait for lengthy evaluations and insurance approvals. And we do that by offering donations-based courses that are online and in person for families on topics of skill development, behavior support, and education. So by the numbers, I'm going to share a little bit now about why we started our organization. So right now, 1 in 36 individuals is identified as being on the autism spectrum, and 15% of the public school students receive special education services. In addition to that, 6 million children have ADHD. So there's a large and growing need for families of neurodivergent children to get the supports they need for their child to be happy, fulfilled, and successful at home, at school, and in the community. As you can see, it's consistently growing year to year, and the demand for services to support these families historically has been exceeded the needs that there are in the community. So now that we have been working on identifying autism at an early age, there's been a lot of public initiatives to increase awareness. By the age of 3, 85% of families of an autistic child have identified concerns. And 4 is the age that early intervention is most effective if it's started by then. And the average age of diagnosis for autism in the United States is currently 4 years and 4 months. So even though 85% of families are identifying a concern in development by the age of 3, that age of diagnosis is still 4 years and 4 months. So you can see that there's a large gap of more than a year between when families are noticing concerns and when they're actually obtaining that diagnosis. that they need in order to obtain the services to support their child in early intervention. So even though families are identifying these concerns in time to get early intervention access to their child before the age of 4, that average age of diagnosis is not coming in time to provide services. And there's currently a 4 to 28-month wait for ABA therapy. So once families get that autism diagnosis at 4 years and 4 months old, there's still a months to years long wait in order to access ABA therapy, depending on who their insurance provider is, what region of the country they are in, what is their language in their home. Different factors really impact how long a family has to wait in order to gain access to ABA therapy. But we know that that age of diagnosis is too late for families to be able to get effective early intervention therapy that's going to lead to those best outcomes. And then once they get that diagnosis, they're still waiting months to years to get the support they need. And there's also an equity gap that's really important to note. So children from Black or Latinx families receive an autism diagnosis an average of 1.5 years later than a white child. So there's a huge gap in our healthcare system in providing that early diagnosis and early identification to diverse groups. And it's leading families of children with autism who are from minority groups to have later diagnosis and then later intervention, which leads to poorer long-term outcomes for their children. So we try to address that gap by providing our programs in both English and Spanish and not requiring families to have a diagnosis in order to participate in our programs. So that those families that are identifying those concerns by the age of 3 are then able to start working on early intervention goals while they're waiting for that autism diagnosis and access to ABA therapy. So a little bit more about the numbers and why our donations-based programs are necessary in our community is that the typical out-of-pocket cost for ABA therapy is $40,000 per year. So that's really a luxury service that's only affordable to families that are in higher classes. And it leaves families in middle class and lower class areas completely unable to afford the care that they need for their child unless they're able to get that diagnosis and insurance coverage. And even families who do have insurance coverage, the typical copay for ABA therapy services covered by insurance is 20%. So families are still need to pay about 20% of that $40,000 per year cost. And insurances will not pay any amount of money for ABA therapy during the diagnostic process. Families are required to have that diagnosis of autism completed before insurance will cover any costs. So families who are on wait lists for diagnostic evaluations for 1 year or more, they're not able to access insurance covered early intervention services for their child. So if we think about how families are not getting that diagnosis until 4 years and 4 months, and then they're waiting months in order to get on the wait list for ABA therapy providers, that leaves about 1.5 to 5 years as the average total years of waiting for access to support. So there's many families who are spending months to years waiting for support for their child's development and waiting on long wait lists for diagnostic evaluations, ABA therapy. And in the meantime, there is currently no cohesive and comprehensive programs that can help these families to support their child at home while they're waiting for access to care through these traditional healthcare routes. So now we'll go into talking about who we serve and then how we serve them. So we serve any members of the community. This could be parents, foster parents, grandparents, teachers, family members, allies in the community, or friends of individuals who are neurodivergent who just want to learn more about our programs. And the families of the children, these children could have general developmental or behavioral concerns. They may have autism, ADHD, or other developmental conditions. We don't require families to have a diagnosis in order to obtain our services. So even families who maybe just have general concerns about their child's development can access services that will support them in providing early intervention to their child so that they can start working on those skills with their child right away rather than wait and see that some healthcare models use with families. And we welcome families of children with any diagnosis or no diagnosis at all. Our programs are in general, working on skill development, behavior support, and the special education system. So that applies to families of children with a variety of conditions and diagnoses. So like we already discussed, we cover a variety of different statuses. So it might be families with just a general concern about their child. It might be families who are waiting for diagnostic evaluations, families who received a recent diagnosis, families who are waitlisted for ABA services. So maybe they're on a wait, they're not sure how long before they're able to access it. They can then take our programs, learn how to work with their child on their own while they wait to then engage in applied behavior analysis therapy or other forms of therapy. And we also service families who maybe would like to get their child into a therapy provider but are unable to access it due to practical constraints such as time constraints, financial constraints, or any other reasons that they might be able to access individualized support at this time. So we have 2 current programs and 1 future program. Our 2 current programs are our courses, our webinars, and then in the future, we'll be rolling out family meetups so that the families and participants in our courses can continue to engage in dialogues on how to support their child, develop those meaningful interactions and relationships with other families who are experiencing similar things. We're looking to roll that out in the future, but we'll spend the rest of our time today talking about our courses, webinars, and in-person workshops. So our courses are a live online format, and they're in small groups of 10 or fewer course members. And we do this intentionally to make sure that families can receive that individualized attention and a highly interactive course. So each of our courses is led by a qualified expert in the field, and we have an optional fee of $30 for the entire multi-week course, but everyone is welcome to attend regardless of ability to pay. When families go to register, they can choose to pay that $30 fee or they can waive it. We don't require families to prove financial need. We want to make as few obstacles as possible to families being able to enroll in and participate in our courses. So that $30 is a suggested donation, but by no means required for families to attend our courses and services. And our courses really focus on research-based content, hands-on activities, and group discussions. So it's a very interactive class that allows participants to ask questions, engage with the content, practice skills, and really get to individualize their experience to their specific needs. So we have 2 current courses. One is our behavior support course. We currently have our first cohort in this course halfway through the program. The behavior support course is 6 weeks long, and it's 2 classes per week that are 1 hour each. So right now, our course is going right now is Tuesdays and Thursdays from 5 to 6 p.m. So it's the same group of families. It's a small group of families, and they're going through that content throughout. The topics that we cover are understanding behavior, supporting and preventing behavior, identifying skill deficits, and teaching new skills. So we really focus our behavior support course on helping families to understand that behavior is a form of communication and identify what is your child trying to communicate with this behavior. What skills might they be missing that's leading them to use this challenging or potentially harmful behavior in order to get their needs met? And how can we teach them a new skill that will help them communicate their needs? So all of the content that we cover is neurodiversity affirming and focuses on, getting your child's assent to engage in these activities, focusing on ways to build your child's self-advocacy. How can they communicate what they're needing in that moment in a healthier and more effective way? And again, all of these courses are very interactive. So families will receive a workbook that they go throughout the course so that they can fill in, and it kind of takes them through all those parts of what would be in a behavior plan. So identifying what behaviors are of concern, looking at why those behaviors are occurring, and what strategies can we put in place to support our child to learn new skills and handle those difficult and challenging tasks and routines. Our second course is our Navigating Schools course. This one is 4 weeks, and the class is once a week for an hour and a half. Within this course, we are helping familiarize families with the special education system. So we talk about what that evaluation process looks like, what are you and your child's rights, and what laws protect you within the school system. It goes over what is in an individualized education plan, what to expect during those individualized education plan meetings, and what services, accommodations, and modifications may be available to your child within the school system. And then we spend a lot of time talking about how can you collaborate and develop those clear lines of communication with your school team in order to help advocate for your child's to help make sure that your child has the best supports possible within the school to be successful. So families who are interested in signing up for our course can reserve a space at our website, which is thrivefs.org. When families register for a course, they'll be able to reserve their spot. Again, we limit our courses to 10 families or fewer to make sure that each family has time to ask questions, get some individualized attention from course instructors, really engage in discussions and practice skills within the classes. So families will fill out a registration form. They'll complete an intake form at the link that's in the registration. So they'll fill out that registration form, but then there's an additional intake that gives us more information about the family, the child, and so that we're better able to individualize the course to meet their specific needs. And then families will receive an email with our syllabus, our workbook, a link to the video meetings for the course, and links to pre-surveys that helps measure increases in their knowledge across the course and their self-efficacy rating. So how do they feel confident in their abilities to implement strategies to help support their child before and after the course so that we can make sure that we're measuring whether our courses are effective and continue to improve upon our services to the community. So families will complete those pre-surveys prior to the first day of course so that we are all ready to go when we start that first day. And then at the end, they'll take those surveys again so that they can measure knowledge, provide us feedback, and we can continue to work on our course development. So in addition to our multi-week courses, we also have webinars. These are also a live online format, and they're held about once per month by a qualified expert in the field. There's an optional fee of $10. Again, just like our courses, everyone can attend our programs regardless of their ability to pay. There's no requirement to pay that fee in order to attend our courses or our webinars. And our webinars are more topic specific. So they cover a variety of individual topics related to development, education, behavior support. A couple examples of courses that we've had in the past are finding the right therapy provider. So our Navigating Therapy Providers webinar talked about what to look for when you're looking at a potential therapy provider. How do you decide what kind of therapy is best for your child, weighing the pros and cons of each, and really understanding what questions should you be asking and what should you be looking for when looking for a highly effective and ethical therapy provider. We just had our Understanding Neurodiversity and Autism webinar this Sunday that familiarized families with autism through a neurodiversity affirming lens. So we took that diagnostic criteria and broke it down from a strengths-based lens of what are the unique traits and potential support needs that an individual on the autism spectrum might experience. We also have some upcoming topics, including an intro to positive parenting on how can you use positive strategies to support your child's development and behavior and support a healthy and positive relationship with your child. In addition to our webinars, we also have in-person workshops for families that are in the Tampa Bay region, Southwest Florida, and throughout the Florida region. These are also led by a qualified expert and they are individualized topics. So some of our workshops will be in-person versions of our webinars and other are individualized to a specific organization or group of people based on where that workshop is held. So for example, next week we'll be going to the nonprofit Pace Center for Girls, and we're going to be talking about behavior as a form of communication. How can you identify what your communication partner might be trying to communicate to you during conflict? And how can you work together to communicate in a healthier way? So now we're going to go through some of the frequently asked questions about our organization. So who is eligible to sign up for our courses? Everyone is eligible. Any family members, teachers, professionals in the field, or allies can sign up for our programs to learn more about how to support neurodivergent individuals in the community and in order to connect with members of the community. What documents do I need to submit? We don't require families to submit any medical reports, medical histories, or school reports, or insurance information. This allows all of our families to easily sign up and participate in our programs without some of those boundaries and obstacles that a lot of families find when they're trying to get diagnostic evaluations or individualized therapy. We want to make as few barriers as possible so that families can easily benefit from our programs. Again, we do have those intake forms and pre-surveys, which are brief, but we don't require families to submit any documentation or records. So another question that we get asked is this ABA therapy? ABA stands for Applied Behavior Analysis. And this is not ABA therapy. We do use research-based content and strategies from the sciences of learning and applied behavior analysis within our programs, but we don't provide direct ABA therapy to any of the children of the families that we're serving. And some questions that we get from families is, will they lose their spot on a wait list for ABA therapy or another therapy provider if they sign up for courses with Thrive Family Support? No, we're not an ABA therapy provider and we don't use insurance to fund our programs. So you'll still be able to stay on wait lists for any ABA or other therapies while you're participating in our programs. And you can even participate in our programs while your child is in ABA therapy. So some families find it beneficial to engage in our programs to learn more about how they can supplement the ABA therapy by working on communication and skill development at home, or attending some of our webinars on special topics, or learning more about how they can navigate that special education system. So if you're already getting individualized therapy, you may still benefit from engaging in our programs, and you don't have to pick one or the other. You can stay on wait lists for therapy and participate in our courses. Other questions we get are, can more than one family member participate? Yes. When you register for our programs, you can reserve up to 2 spaces so that you and a family member can both participate in our course or webinar. If you have more than 2 family members who would like to come and engage in our programs, they can also register separately for the course as well. We really recommend that whenever multiple family members can participate, that they do so. It's really beneficial to have everyone on the same page as to how to respond to a child and how to help them build their skills. So the more family members, the better. What if I don't see a time that works for me? Because our programs are live, the challenge we run into is sometimes we don't have a program or a course that works for the times that a family is available. Reach out to us if that's the case via call or email, or through our contact us page on our website. If you see a course or a webinar that you would like to engage in, but you don't see a time or a weekday that works for your schedule, just reach out and let us know. We're always adding in new courses and webinars and timings, and your feedback helps us to plan courses for times that work for families. Sometimes it's the case where someone asks us to record our webinars. We can't record our courses because families share specific information about their child and family within those courses. So to protect the privacy of those families, we don't record our courses, but we do record our webinars. So if you reach out to us and let us know, hey, I really wanted to come to that one, but I can't come to that time, we'll either schedule for a time that works for you, or we might send you a recorded version and then just follow up with you. So if you are interested in helping support our organization, there's a few different ways that you can get involved with our mission. We are a donations-based program. Because we don't require families to pay, we rely on grants, donors, sponsors, and small donations from community members in order to support our mission. We have an online donation portal that actually just did launch a couple of weeks ago. It costs $30 to sponsor a family. So if you're interested in donating, $30 helps a family to enroll and complete one of our courses for free. Or you could sponsor or host a fundraiser. So if you're interested in holding your own fundraiser for us, reach out, let us know. We're always looking for community members who are helping to support our mission. The biggest way that you can help us is by spreading the word. Since we're a new organization, we're still reaching out to community organizations, to family members, and other members of the community to let them know that we're here, we're available to help support families in the community. So sharing us on social media is a great way to help us reach a greater variety of community members. You can also tell your friends, family, and colleagues about us. You can advertise our upcoming events on your social media pages or share it with other people. We have flyers and brochures available. So if you have a physical location that you'd like to advertise our programs at, let us know. We can provide you with some of our flyers and brochures. We're also looking for volunteers. We're a completely volunteer-run organization. So we're always looking for more people who have time to help us. Right now, we're looking for individuals who are able to provide at least 2 hours a week of time to volunteer with our efforts. So we're looking for people to help with outreach and marketing to help us let more community members know about our programs. We're looking for people to help us with event planning. We have a fundraiser coming up in the fall, and it's a lot of work to organize. So any individuals that are interested in helping us with that event planning, we would welcome that. We also have a social media page where we try to provide brief bits of information and resources to families. So if you're interested in social media or you'd be interested in helping develop some content related to skill development, behavior support, and neurodiversity, let us know. And we're also just looking for volunteers to help with some of the administrative tasks, data entry, things like that, that help keep our programs running and successful. So if you're interested in volunteering your time, please reach out, whether it's to do that 2+ hours a week of volunteer time, or if you're just interested in helping us with any of our upcoming in-person special events, you can let us know and we'll let you know when those upcoming ones are. So we encourage all of you to stay connected with us in our organization. You can check out our website if you haven't done so already. I think most of you have if you registered for this program, but just in case, it's thrivefs.org. We also have an email, thrivefsinfo@gmail.com. And we have an Instagram and a Facebook. Our Instagram handle is @thrive_FS. FS for family support. And we're on Facebook as well. If you type in our organization, you'll be able to find us. So we encourage you to follow us to find out what events and in-person workshops and things are going to be coming up so that you can share those with others in the community or enroll in them. And we also provide a lot of resources for families through these different various media means. So keep in touch with us. We hope to see you at our upcoming events or to see you reaching out for volunteer opportunities or other ways to help engage with our mission. I'd like to thank all of you for your time this evening, learning more about our organization. And we really appreciate your interest, and we really appreciate you for wanting to learn about our organization and continuing to spread the message of what we're offering to the community.